Ever wonder what each of the main characters was up to before the events of the series started? Probably not. But hey, I had a lot of time on my hands, so I put together this video detailing what some of the characters were up to. So, hope you enjoy. Prior to the start of Adventure Time, and even before the current universe, Finn was a blue catalyst comet. This is essentially an embodiment of pure good in the universe. From there, he becomes her butterfly, a pink interdimensional creature, and the Gunther that was following the Ice Wizard, and finally Shoko, before reincarnating into the Finn we meet in this show. Regarding his origins, Finn was adopted as an infant in the woods by Jake's parents, Joshua and Margaret. It is revealed in Min and Marty that Finn was born on Hub Island, one of the human inhabited islands outside the land of Oo, to his father Mertens and his mother Minerva Campbell. This union doesn't last long, as Martin is confronted by an old enemy and forced to flee the house with baby Finn while Minerva is at work. Martin brings Finn onto a raft, only to be attacked by the Guardian, but as a result, he and Finn are separated, with Finn being sent to drift towards Oo and Martin disappearing forever, until he's later found at the Citadel. Finn eventually makes it to Oo, where he ends up alone in a forest. There, he takes a dump on a large leaf and falls on it, and lies there crying until Margaret comes to give him a kiss. Both she and Joshua decide to rescue him, bringing him from the wilderness to their home. They raise him alongside Jake and Jermaine, who become Finn's adopted brothers. From this time on, Finn and Jake leave their parents' house and come to live at a treehouse where the current events of Adventure Time take place. Following the trend we did for Finn and looking at Jake's past lives, the first is Nina, who was a companion of Gunther in the Ice Wizard episode, and later Shoko's tiger, who was Shoko's companion. Jake's story begins when he pops out of his father's head after Joshua and Margaret were tracking something in the woods. Whilst investigating, a blue magical alien passes by and Joshua goes to fight it, thinking it was peeping at his wife. During the altercation, the creature grabs Joshua and bites his head, implanting Jake before Margaret comes to scare it away. Joshua at this point is ready to end it all, but Margaret encourages him, and soon enough, Jake escapes, yeah, I said escapes from his head, talking and dancing straight out of the womb, or I guess head. A little after this, his brother Jermaine follows suit when Margaret gives birth. And sometime after this, both Joshua and Margaret die, and Jake moves into the tree fort with Finn, while Jermaine stays at their parents' house. And for a while, Jake was known to be a successful criminal until he retired to live a more respectable life as an adventurer with Finn, later settling down with Lady Rainicorn to become a father. Now moving on to Princess Bubblegum, she is the current incarnation of the candy elemental in Adventure Time. Princess Bubblegum originated from a massive hive mind creature known as the Mother Gum, a blob of sentient pink gum that spread across the ruins of civilizations shortly after the Mushroom War. This origin is hinted at in the episode Simon and Marcy, where the Mother Gum briefly aids Simon and young Marceline by giving them the suit that they need. Moreover, in Bonnie and Nettie, we get a flashback set over 800 years ago before the show's events, showing Bubblegum and her current brother Nettie dropping from the ceiling of a crumbling building, the same building that the Mother Gum rests in. As a young child living in the radioactive wasteland that would become the Candy Kingdom, Bonnabelle shared a small hideout by a glowing river with her brother. She then created a new candy family comprising Uncle Gumball, Aunt Lolly, and Cousin Shoko. However, things turned sour when Gumball revealed plans to build a candy city, a vision that clashed with Bubblegum's, and in protest, she created Lake Butterscotch right where Gumball wanted to build his apartments. Because of this, Gumball plotted to get rid of Bubblegum. While she was out on a date with Mr. Cream Puff, he conspired to overthrow her with Dum Dum Juice, a serum that transformed candy people into naive, obedient versions of themselves. He tricked Lolly and Shoko into drinking it, turning them into a piñata and a candy ball respectively. When Bubblegum returned, Gumball tried to do the same to her, but she managed to turn the tables, spilling the juice onto him instead and turning him into a punch bowl. From there, Bubblegum declared herself their princess and began creating future candy people to populate what would become known as the Candy Kingdom. During this pre-show period, several important events happened in the life of Princess Bubblegum that we're gonna look at. The first, Bubblegum befriended Shoko, who later turned out to be a thief trying to steal an amulet from her, but in the midst of this, she turned into some toxic waste monster after falling into some toxic waste beside the castle. Later, Princess Bubblegum met Marceline, the vampire queen, and explored the land of Oo with her until her official duties as a monarch drove a wedge between them. And finally, about 15 years before the start of the show, when Flame Princess was born, a prophecy warned that she'd be far more powerful than her father, prompting the Flame King to order her abandonment. embodiment. A messenger unable to go through with it left her with a crystal lumberjack whose home Flame Princess accidentally burned as a baby and actually fled into the forest. Princess Bubblegum found her and seeing her destructive power, returned her to the Fire Kingdom and advised the Flame King to contain Flame Princess to keep her powers under control before the show started. And now we're moving on to Marceline, who is a 1,000-year-old vampire queen born around the time of the Mushroom War to Hansen, Abidair, and Elsie. Marceline lived in a trailer with her mother, who later passed due to illness. Luckily, Simon Petrikov found her around that time in the ruins of the city and became a father figure until the crown caused him to go crazy and they had to part ways. Speaking of parting ways, she cut all ties with her father after she found him eating fries she made for herself at a gas station. In the years that followed, Marceline wandered the land of Ooh, hunting the remaining vampires alongside her dog Schwab. She became a guardian to some humans who accepted her as their protector. Marceline helped them fight the vampire threat, but during a battle with the Vampire King who attacked while the tribe was repairing a boat, she was bitten. Though she ultimately defeated him, the encounter turned her into the last vampire in Ooh. Around this time, Marceline met Princess Bubblegum and gave her a rock t-shirt. They grew really close, often skipping royal duties to spend time together. However, as Bubblegum became more burdened by her responsibilities, she began pushing Marceline away. They also cut ties during a mission to the Glass Kingdom where Bubblegum lashed out at Marceline. She sang an angry song that defeated a dragon, but their fallout led to years and years of tension, until they later reconnected during the events of the show. And finally, we have the Ice King, who before the Mushroom War was a human named Simon Petrikov, a professor and an antiquarian passionate about ancient artifacts. Though mocked for his belief in magical items, Simon remained determined in his research. During a lecture on his findings, he met Petrikov, a longtime admirer of his work. They shared interests that led them on an expedition to find the Enchiridion, and as they journeyed together, they fell in love and succeeded in discovering the legendary book. Later in his career, Simon purchased a mysterious jeweled crown from an old dock worker in northern Scandinavia. After bringing it home, he jokingly placed it on his head in front of Betty. This unknowingly and unfortunately bonded him with the crown and its curse, and he immediately began experiencing disturbing visions and removed the crown, realizing too late that the visions were caused by its powers. Simon had no memory of what he said or did while wearing it, but whatever happened frightened Betty and drove her away. Simon continued to experience visions regardless of wearing the crown or not, and his skin and hair began to change color as Ice King's white facial hair started growing in and his body's temperature dropped. Simon used the Ice Crown to survive the Mushroom War, making him one of the few survivors of this catalysm. In the aftermath, he found a young Marceline crying amid the ruins, and wanting to comfort her, he gave her a stuffed doll he found in the destroyed toy shop. The doll, which Marceline named Hambo, became her most treasured possession and a lasting symbol of their bond. Simon became a father figure to Marceline, using the Ice Crown to protect her from dangerous creatures roaming the post-Mushroom War world. However, each time he used the crown, it took a toll on his mind, gradually pushing him towards madness. Marceline noticed the change in him and pleaded with Simon to stop using the crown. He promised to limit its use, but increasing threats forced him to keep relying on its power. After 2 to 3 years of traveling and surviving together, Simon ultimately left Marceline, fearing he would harm her as he lost more of himself to the crown. But before his departure, and as a final act of care, Simon summoned Marceline's biological father from the Night of Spirits to serve as her new guardian, hoping Hansen would stay in her life in a way Martin no longer could. And this leads to him eating the fries and Marceline departing from him, and the events that we come to know as the ones that happen in Adventure Time. And yeah, this is where I bring the video to an end. So if you enjoyed it, definitely hit me with that like and make sure to subscribe while you share the video. You can also click over here to watch a video on why Princess Bubblegum is better than Rose Quartz from Steven Universe. And over here to watch the video of Adventure Time and Minecraft collaborating. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you all next time. Tune out.